Today we have a gorgeous boy out here.
Oh, sweet.
Welcome, Siddharth.
I never told anybody that I want to be an actor. I was very intelligent not to tell because I didn't want to be discouraged.
Actors shouldn't get married so early because your career can be. Is
Really?
that true? I'm asking you.
Bombay में 5 BHK खरीदूंगा तब भी मैं शादी करूंगा.
Why did you decide to get married?
So from where it's coming, I don't know where this is headed, but I feel I want to get married.
Yeah.
We started in a long distance relationship. Met her first when she was in 5th standard. We used to go to tuition together. I had matched my tuition timing with her.
I'll have like a ritual that is absolutely followed between you all.
Write in my notes app things which I have to tell you. See, I'm saying this right now, it seems very rosy cozy. Let me tell you, many times it's not. But to hold on to love is difficult.
Hey you! Welcome to another exciting episode on RAWR with Sneha. I am your host Sneha Desai, and RAWR is a talk show where you unleash the power of love and relationships. But before we go ahead, do not forget to hit that subscribe button because that helps us roar even louder. Today we have a gorgeous boy out here with us.
Oh, sweet.
Welcome, Siddharth.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
so much. Thank you so much. You look pretty gorgeous yourself, I must say.
Thank you so much. So, Sid, did you always want to be an actor?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah. I think
Since childhood?
since the beginning, yeah.
What's your journey been like?
Oh, it's been very fruitful, I have to say.
Okay.
It's been full of surprises, from
When did you
Yeah,
start
it's been-
acting? Like,
वैसे तो बचपन से ही.
huh.
I mean, whenever somebody would come home, I used to always be the entertainment, dance करके दिखाओ, mimicry करो, ये करो, वो करो.
ठीक
Like,
है.
it used to be that kind of thing.
Huh.
Yeah, when it came time to just say, कि, yeah, you know what, this is who I am, this is who I want to be and what I want to do. There's no way to, I mean, how do you go from there? What's the next step, right? But
Okay.
Pune city was nice to me. There was a lot of theatre going on, a lot of college theatre going on. Just latched on to that. One thing led to another. Before you knew it, I was in films. Now it's been 15 years and I'm still here.
Wow.
Yes, awards, film festivals, hits, flops, series, whatever. I mean, a
So-
lot of stuff.
So, which was your first paid gig as an actor?
First paid gig as an actor was this play.
Okay.
I mean, I used to do a lot of experimental theatre,
Hmm.
which didn't pay at all.
Hmm.
And then I did this commercial play.
Okay.
And suddenly after the first show, I got this envelope and there was like 1,000 rupees in it.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, wow, okay.
started with
so
literally 1,000 rupees.
Actually, my first job technically, not in acting,
Okay.
was a summer job
Hmm.
which I did with Times of India.
Okay.
They had an offer on Femina and Filmfare subscriptions.
ठीक है.
So it was like a door-to-door job. And that was my first job,
Okay.
technically. That went for a couple of months, I think.
Hmm.
And yeah, I did that.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, I got paid 4,400 rupees.
Wow.
I remember. Then I did this production gig actually.
Hmm.
You know this show called The Amazing Race? It used to come on AXN.
Yeah.
So Amazing Race का Asia version था.
Okay.
So there was one bit which was shot in Lonavala and in around in Maharashtra.
Okay.
So I was a part of that team, and 2-3 days I was there.
Hmm.
Yeah, I still remember I got $5,000 for that. Then I started acting,
Okay.
and then this $1,000 per show kind of thing happened. I remember I bought, so do a lot of shows, right?
Yeah.
And before you know it, I had like money in the bank a little,
Wow.
and I bought the BlackBerry Curve,
That was your.
which was for 10,000 rupees at that.
So literally from
Thing.
being a salesperson,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Femina and all,
yeah,
to
now-
actually winning a national award
yeah,
for
that's
for the best
sees
actor.
a
Wow.
fruitful journey.
Wow. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Also, but then when you are into such a creative field,
Hmm.
your parents always support you because not every parent would understand that, बहुत सारे बच्चे बोलते हैं ना एक्टर बनूंगा, मैं फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में काम करूंगी, but parents are like, ठीक है, मतलब ये सपने हैं and
Yeah.
people don't support you.
True, true.
So what was your.
What do I say? They're as crazy as me.
Yeah?
They're as crazy as me. I mean, that's the only way to explain this because.
Seriously?
So I'll tell you what happened. I did this play in 9th standard.
Okay.
Okay. And it was a very interesting play.
Which school were you in?
Gurukul.
Gurukul.
In Pune. For
हाँ
those who are not in Pune.
हाँ
And this is not that Bachchan wala Gurukul. Anushasan and all. No, this was not that. There was no Shah Rukh Khan playing a violin. I was only the Shah Rukh Khan in the school, if I may say. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I did this play and it was very interesting. It was um, another take on Cinderella. Okay.
Okay.
Where Cinderella is actually the wicked one.
Okay.
The sisters are very nice. The prince is this Bondhu guy. Okay.
अच्छा.
And he and one of the sisters are actually in love.
Okay.
And Cinderella plays a very cunning game. Usko hata ke she marries
He marries the prince.
So it's a rom-com basically, and I was the prince.
Okay.
And I did that play, and the audiences were laughing, and like after that, everybody was like, "Dude, you were great, and you look so good on stage, and everything." And we went for dinner, and my mom was like, "You were really good," and I was like, "Really?" And that's when the chakram really started in the head. And yeah, even in college and stuff, I never told anybody that I want to be an actor because I knew I was very intelligent not to tell because I didn't want to be discouraged. And I knew only discouragement would come my way. So I just said, you know what, let me do things, let people see. And if I'm good, they'll automatically come over to my side. And then play after play, performance after performance, and they were like,
but self-belief tha. Like since child, like maybe in college also, because an actor or a struggling actor to begin with would always have so much self-doubt, to begin when they're beginning their journey. And they're like, mere pe kaun bharosa karega? Why will I end up in Bombay? Especially when you were in Pune at that moment. You were not even like in Bombay at that moment. Having nobody from the industry. Nobody. So literally then, of course, you'll be like, maybe I'm thinking this, but this is just a dream or an idea, and maybe I need to get a real job.
Yeah.
So
the thing is, I thought about getting a real job, but I couldn't decide which job. Like, I couldn't decide. I just couldn't do anything else.
Okay.
Because my heart didn't allow me to do anything else. And thankfully for me, in college, I mean, most of my friends from college who did theatre, they're all professionals now. They're directors and writers and actors, and so we started our journey together.
Okay.
So that kind of helped with dealing with all the self-doubt. It's not like I didn't have self-doubt. I had stage fright.
Okay.
But it's one of those things where I'm like, no, I have to go on that stage. I don't care if I'm scared. I have to go. I know if I don't go, I'll be really unhappy. Like, I just couldn't shake that. And yeah, I remember one day after my graduation, it was like, okay, now you can't hide under anything. Now you're graduated. So now literally it's not like, चलो आर्ट साइंस कॉमर्स चूज करना है, अभी चूज करना है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ये बहुत बकवास है कि उस टाइम पे चूज करना है, ये बहुत ही बकवास है मुझे लगता है. लेकिन तब चूज करना है, अभी क्या करना है जिंदगी में. एंड आई वाज टॉइंग एंड आई गॉट दिस प्ले in Hindi. It was really lovely. The story was written by Gulzar, and yeah, Sarang Sathe, who runs Bhadipa, he was going to direct. It was called Jungle Nama.
Okay.
And I was not sure whether I want to do that. I mean, I want to do that, but I was like, no, पढ़ाई करना है, masters लेना है, फिर एक job लेना है, फिर ये करना है, वो करना है. And I was very confused. And my parents were like, what's going on? And I was like, no, I'm afraid. What if I go and what if it doesn't work out? And they dismissed that so easily. Like, I'm forever blessed for that day. Like, they just said, that's your problem? ये problem है. इसमें problem क्या है? Like, they were actually like, what's the problem? Like, no, what if it doesn't work out? Like, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's okay.
Yeah.
I was like, really? It's okay? They were like, yeah, it's okay. Just go, take a chance on yourself. We know what you can do. We've seen you on stage the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And you're getting work.
Yeah.
If you're getting it, stupid to say no to that.
Yeah.
And go and do something else which you don't want to do. For them it was not making sense. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they said
that's so
it was
good
very,
to know that when it's coming from your parents.
yeah,
I mean, your self-doubt becomes so small
yeah,
when
it
your
becomes very
parents,
small.
and you need your parents to say these things to you.
100%. You definitely need your parents. I really needed them to say.
Yeah.
Because if they would have not said that,
Hmm.
I would not be here today.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't that confident. I mean, maybe a couple of years I would have done something else, I would have been unhappy, then I've taken a couple of years more to reel from that pain.
Yeah.
कि यार मैंने वक्त बर्बाद किया, मैंने वो किया होता तो ये होता, वो होता, ये होता, all of that would have happened probably, you never know.
Yeah.
But because they said, you just go, and my dad, he's never given me career advice. Never.
Okay.
He gave me, only once he gave me advice.
Okay. What
He
was
said,
that?
very simple it was. He said, whatever you do, make sure you do your 100%. Okay? Because there are forces out of your hands. You can't do anything. But what
Yeah.
you can do, you do.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't cheat anybody. For anything. Don't cheat anybody. Don't cheat yourself. And love whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Just love it.
Yeah.
He said, you follow these 3 things. बस बाकी तुमको जो करना है तुम करो.
Got it.
And he just up and left.
Wow.
Like he literally up and left, put the TV on, he was sitting in front of the TV, and I was like, okay, that's okay.
That's
Let me
wonderful.
start with this.
Yeah.
Let me love what I do,
Yeah.
which I do. It's not difficult.
Yeah.
Let me accept who I am. And yeah.
I had read this somewhere, and also a friend had told me once. He was a theater artist, and he said that when you what theater does to you is it actually elevates your EQ.
Yeah.
It sort of gives you so much of emotional quotient.
It does.
And so guys who actually are theater artists are better in their relationships. Is that
Really?
true? I'm asking you. I don't
I'm
know
the
this
wrong person to ask this question. You should ask my wife this question.
Unfortunately, she's not here.
Yeah,
But-
I was just thinking she should have been. It would have been
Yeah.
nice to have her, but she's not in the country, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
So you've been married for how long?
8.5 years.
8.5 years.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like
Yeah.
8.5. Doesn't seem like we're married.
Isn't it like a thing that an actor shouldn't get married so early because your career can be?
I mean,
Because you are also the most desirable man in Maharashtra, so as to say, and then you sort of have a wife to go back to.
I'm not the
And-
most. Times of India said I was one of the
One
most.
of the most.
One
but
of
yeah,
them.
of course.
Yeah.
But you're gorgeous. So then, what it is like? Why did you
The
decide?
show
to
is
get-
now called Blush with Sneha. And what makes me desirable is not the fact that I'm single or not. It's how I conduct myself,
Yeah.
the work that I put out there,
Yeah.
how I treat people, how I treat myself.
Yes.
Those are the larger things.
Things.
And yeah, I mean, I'm still married, and I think I'm still desirable according to some people. They keep telling me, so I'm happy.
So when did you meet her? What is the
So
story
I know her from school.
Okay.
She was my junior in school.
Okay.
She was 2 years.
Does it go a long way, like from school?
No, not from. So I really liked her in school.
Okay.
But that time there was no culture of dating, and those were all the things you did after 10th standard. Like in our time, it was like that.
Yeah.
So I met her first when she was in 5th standard,
Okay.
and I was in the 7th standard.
Okay.
And yeah, I've confessed to her that I really liked her, and we used to go to tuition together. I had matched my tuition timing with her and stuff like that.
Okay.
But there was no dating scene, and we never confessed to each other.
But this is how you show love, right? Like you match your tuition time.
Yeah, timings, you pass the stairway and you kind of
Look at
the
each other.
glance. Yeah, so all of that happened. But she said that I didn't like you in that way at all.
Okay.
That's an argument which we keep having. But she gave me all the hints. Anyway, jokes all that in the past. But then 10th standard, you pass out. Then you're in college. You that time only email was there.
Yeah.
This Orkut and Facebook, BBM and all started way later. I
Okay.
passed out in 2005. So you lose touch. Phone numbers, landlines change, all of
Yeah.
that happens. And then I met her years. We got connected on Facebook
Okay.
or BlackBerry Messenger, one of those. was very high by. Oh, how are you? La
Hmm.
ha. Okay, this is your life now. Okay, this is my life now.
Okay.
Oh, you're an actor. Yeah, yeah. Okay, all of these things happen. And I was dating other people. She
Hmm.
was also dating. We both were in long-term relationships actually. Not that we told each other about it. Um, and we met again years later.
Okay.
Uh, and we started talking, and that's when we both realized that
You're like
both our
each.
relationships have broken.
Okay.
And we were like, oh, okay. And then it started
Building.
growing and building and building and
Hmm.
building. And so, very funny story. Uh, one call, and oh, by the way, we started in a long distance relationship.
Okay.
So she was in Dubai when we
Okay.
started dating,
Okay.
and I was in Bombay,
Hmm.
Mumbai, Pune. I was in India basically.
Hmm.
And so it was a long distance relationship to start with.
Okay.
Uh, and that never hindered anything.
Okay. Because people don't start with long distance
Yeah,
relationships.
yeah.
People
And
do
distance is a big, like,
big, like,
no,
yeah.
no, no, I can't do
Yeah.
distance kind of a thing. But that never hindered.
Hmm.
It did hinder in the sense ki, oh, we miss each other
You can't.
physically.
Yeah.
But there was never like a trust thing.
Hmm.
Where are you? What are you doing? Why aren't you answering my call? There was not. So we were like, wow, okay, we started with distance
Hmm.
and it's going good. So
Hmm.
that was the first green flag,
Hmm.
you know. And the day we decided that, I think we should tell our families now
Hmm.
that we are together now,
Hmm.
before people start looking. And not that my parents were looking.
You wanted to get
I
married.
didn't want to get married at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I had a very naive thing in my head कि मैं बॉम्बे में 5 BHK खरीदूंगा तब भी मैं शादी करूंगा. I have not told anybody this, but this
Okay.
is what I had decided.
अच्छा.
So up until then I was like, अरे never, never.
हाँ, पहले वो
पहले
complete करना
पहले
है.
वो करूंगा, पहले
हाँ.
मैं ये करूंगा, वो करूंगा.
Hmm.
And then she happened, and the day we decided to tell home, I got out of this meeting with this director
Hmm.
and I got rejected. So
Okay.
there was this film which was doing the rounds and
Hmm.
3, 4, 5, 6 meetings, screen
Hmm.
tests. And finally, that director tells me
Hmm.
that, sorry, Sid, it's not working out.
Hmm.
I had no work, nothing,
Hmm.
there was nothing. Suddenly, life empty ho gaya, It was
Hmm.
like, and that's when I got on a call and she said, I think we should tell at home. I said, yeah. And I went home and my
Hmm.
mom was there. And I told my mom, I want to tell you something.
Hmm.
She's like, yeah, tell me. And I
Hmm.
said, I know what my life is.
Hmm.
I know what I've been doing for so many years. I
Hmm.
know where I want to go.
Hmm.
And I've met someone
Hmm.
and I want to get married to her.
Okay.
Like it just came.
Came out. Hmm.
This word marriage just came.
Okay.
And she was like, who? And I told her.
Hmm.
And she knew her.
Hmm.
And she was like, great, I like her.
Hmm.
You know.
Hmm.
And I called Purnima, my wife. I called her and I said, listen, I want to marry you.
Hmm.
She's like, what? Like, yeah, I want to marry you. I just told my mother that I want to get married to you.
Okay.
She was
So you
like,
didn't do a proposal for that?
that happened later on.
Later.
And I didn't have a ring and nothing, but we
Okay.
were on this yacht in Dubai
Okay.
in the water
Ah,
and did like a little bit of a
proposal.
impromptu whatever. But the proposal was on the phone.
Phone.
And I said, I think I want to get married to you. And I'm
Yeah.
damn serious about this.
Yeah.
I don't know from where it's coming. I don't know where this is headed, but I feel I want to get married to you.
Yeah.
She said, okay, hold on. She
Mm.
called her father.
Mm.
She said, Siddharth wants to marry me. No, she said, I want to marry Siddharth.
Okay.
So her dad was like, that's fine, but does he want to marry you? She's like, yeah, dad, obviously.
Okay.
And before you knew it, my parents were at her parents' place.
And everything was like,
Everything
oh
was,
God.
oh, hey, this is happening. A year later, we got engaged.
But what changed your mind? Like when you didn't want to get married, and of course you were dating Purnima at this point. So what is it about her that was like, "Ki nahi, I want to get into a stable relationship now.
It
Like
was
I want to marry."
it was not about stable relationship.
As in get married. Like
Huh, I mean,
establish this.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
take it to the next level.
so for me, I'll tell
Huh.
you this, let's get married and settle down. I don't think that definition works for me.
Okay.
I don't think one is ever settled ever.
Hmm.
You
Okay.
have to be settled within yourself.
Hmm.
Then that pours in to your career, to your
Hmm.
relationship, to your friends, to your
Yes.
life in general. So when I met her,
Hmm.
I had, by that time, I was convinced
Hmm.
because I had gotten out of this very long term relationship,
Okay.
and I felt like that relationship, we understood each other in the best way possible.
Okay.
Not me as a person,
Hmm.
but my career,
Hmm.
you know.
Hmm. So you thought you got that from Purnima?
Yeah, no, yeah. So
Like she understood your
yeah, yeah, no,
profession?
yeah. And after that relationship, I was like, nobody's ever going to understand my life.
Okay.
So I don't think I want to get married even more.
So
Because
why didn't the earlier
I
relationship
do
work
that.
out?
That's another. It's just it's see. It's not about support. It's not about anything.
Hmm.
It's just that sometimes you feel like you're right with this person, but that partnership,
Hmm.
that's not meant for two people.
Okay.
That was not meant to be a partnership.
Okay.
So that realization kind of happened,
Hmm.
and that's where we grew apart and everything. And I was like, nobody's going to understand my life.
Hmm.
Nobody's going to understand that I'm a big risk taker in my career.
Hmm.
I don't take the easy way out mostly.
Hmm.
Um, so when we started talking and I started telling her about my career and the insight which she had to my career, to my work, that really surprised me.
Okay.
Like I felt supported in a way that I never felt supported before.
Okay.
And that kind of blew my mind.
Hmm.
Like I remember one day I was really frustrated
Hmm.
and she gave me the best advice, I think, so far.
What's it? What's that advice?
So she said that, Siddharth, you have to understand
Hmm.
your life is not a normal life.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay? So stop trying to fit it into normal.
Hmm.
It's not normal.
Hmm.
It's not abnormal,
Yeah.
but it's extraordinary.
Yeah.
So it's up to you whether you want to live extraordinarily or you want to try and fit
Fit in.
extraordinary into normal.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, I love this girl. Like, who says things like this?
Yeah.
And that extended even with her family.
Hmm.
I don't like to call her parents or her sisters or uncles, like they're not my in-laws. I don't like this in-law
Thing.
thing.
Hmm.
They're very much my parents. They're
Hmm.
my sisters and brothers and cousins and aunts and everything.
Hmm.
And it kind of went to them.
Hmm.
Uh, it's not like they understood the industry. They
Hmm.
didn't know anything about it.
Hmm.
They've worked corporate lives, corporate jobs all their life,
Got it.
you know. But the way they accepted me,
Hmm.
they were like, oh, this is what you do? It's okay.
Got it.
Just come. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay. We understand. They never asked me how much you earn.
Hmm.
They never asked me anything.
Yeah.
Neither did she.
Hmm.
And I was like, something, I think it's because of that love
Got it.
which came my way. Something inside me changed, and I was like, yeah, I think
This is it.
Also, um, I felt like how I feel before my first day of shoot on a film,
Hmm.
or when I'm on stage and the curtain goes up. That feeling just before, where you're scared, but you're excited, but you're anxious, but you feel centered.
Hmm.
You don't know what's going to happen, but you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But you're just there and you love it.
Yeah.
So with this relationship, that's how I felt.
Felt.
So I could relate it to that.
To that.
Because this is what I know the best, right?
Yeah. This
I
is the
know-
feeling that
This was the feeling.
you're
Yeah.
familiar with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I'm feeling like this with this girl, I can't ignore that feeling.
Yeah.
And no matter. And I think what I realized during that time, what I realized about my life, about my career, or about my friends, is that if I feel really real love, and when logic goes apart,
Hmm.
I want to be there.
Hmm.
So all this logic कि पहले घर खरीदूंगा, पहले ये करूंगा, पहले वो करूंगा,
वो सब
फिर
चला गया.
वो logic पूरा चला गया. It
And
just got wiped out.
Yeah.
So I couldn't ignore that feeling.
Yeah. Got it. But then, what was it for Purnima?
And we have to ask her. I really have to ask her. So I think what it was for her,
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure it out, to tell you very honestly.
Hmm.
There is a big part of me who still feels like um, that she's not mine.
Hmm.
I don't think anybody can be anybody's.
Hmm.
I'm my own person. She's her own person. But I feel like every time I do something and she gets impressed,
Hmm.
I feel really happy.
Yeah.
Like, if she compliments me, I feel really happy. Like, I don't take all of that for granted.
Yeah.
So I still feel like I need to woo her.
Yeah.
So
That's what keeps your relationship,
probably,
yeah?
probably.
Yeah. Hmm.
But I think once she told me,
Hmm.
she said, no matter what, basically you're a nice guy.
No matter what.
It's like, yeah, there are some things which, you know, you're a little hyper sometimes. Sometimes, you talk too much. But basically, you're very loving
Right. Okay.
and you're solid. You're
Hmm.
solid, and everybody loves you from my family.
Hmm.
You really make an effort.
Hmm.
Um, and so, baki sab theek hai. But basically, you're a nice guy. That's what she said.
So being with an actor can also be so overwhelming.
It is.
Like for a person
It is.
like who's not from the
Yeah.
industry and she's not at all a part of the industry.
Yeah.
And then when you have, you have to show like on-screen chemistry with a
Yeah.
co-actor
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there are so many things that does she go through those phases of insecurity, or like how do you all sort of handle that?
So, with showing chemistry, that's not been the number one insecurity.
Okay.
That has sometimes cropped up,
Yeah.
but maybe once or twice throughout my
But
career.
how do you handle that? Like,
No, so um, see, it's very everybody in the industry or everybody who knows me,
hmm.
they know that she's a part of me. And like I
Okay.
carry her around wherever I go, and vice versa.
Okay.
Like I have um my own connection with her work people.
Hmm.
Wherever she's worked.
Hmm.
She has that connect with a lot of people who I've worked with.
Got it.
And she's a part of it all.
Hmm.
She's not separate from it.
Hmm.
She's
So that sort of helps.
That helps a lot.
Helps
That
a lot.
helps a lot. Because see, she is now it's no longer my dream alone.
Hmm.
It's our dream.
Hmm.
And so there's a lot of communication which goes her way
Hmm.
about process, about what's happening, what's not happening. She knows the ins and outs of everything.
Okay.
So when it comes to chemistry and stuff, she knows now what it is.
What
She
happens,
knows
yeah.
what kind of an actor I am.
Hmm.
She knows how involved I get.
Hmm.
She knows that if I believe in something, I will go to like beyond me to get it done.
Got it.
Um, it is it's not that I'm some sleazeball. She knows I'm not,
Hmm.
and that's trust which I think I've earned.
Hmm.
And again, with both of us, I think the closest people in my life
Hmm.
are all girls.
Okay.
Apart from her,
Hmm.
uh, the female energy in my life
Hmm.
is more than the male energy. It's not like I don't have guy friends.
Hmm.
I have, but I can literally count them.
Yeah.
But apart from that,
It's lucky to have female energy.
yeah, and it's the same with her. Like
Yeah.
she has a lot of male presence
Got it.
in her life.
Huh.
So we understand that we are these people,
Hmm.
but there is something which is between us, which is only between us.
Hmm.
That nobody comes in that
That's
dynamic.
okay.
But apart from that, the insecurity of it,
Hmm.
see, nobody prepares you for this life,
Hmm.
for this business.
Yeah.
However new and insecure it is for her,
Hmm.
it is for me also. Sometimes even more intensely.
Hmm.
Like sometimes she's told me when when things have really not gone
Hmm.
my way, when something has flopped, um, when you've done a lot of work and things don't pan out the way.
Yeah.
And she's told me this a lot of times, like, Sid, I don't know how you do this. Like, I don't know how you do this day in, day out.
Mm.
You know, I can't even imagine what you must be going through right now.
Mm.
So she's very open to that aspect of it.
Mm.
And also, I'm very vocal
Mm.
about this one thing that I'm like, see, no matter how big I get,
Mm.
no matter whatever,
Mm.
you have to have your own identity. You need to have your own career.
Mm.
You need to earn your own money.
Yeah.
You need to look after your own self, not for me,
Mm.
but for yourself. I understand that you're in this with me. I understand you understand my passion. I understand everything.
Mm.
I understand the sacrifices you make. But, and also, very painfully, I've told her that, listen, if ever this gets too much for you, please be honest with me.
Mm.
Please tell me that, said, I can't do this anymore.
So it's communication.
Yeah, I'll understand. I'll
Yeah.
understand.
Ah.
And she dismisses it. She
Huh.
says, no, shut up, yeah, mad or what.
Huh.
She does all of this, but it's just putting it out there.
Got it.
Ki, I don't take this for granted.
Mm.
And it's vice versa also.
Yeah.
Because what we've realized is, yeah, the film industry is a volatile place,
Yeah.
but so is life.
Yeah.
Um, COVID taught us that.
But how do you all maintain your privacy? Because you're always somebody who's talked about in the industry, or there are people who are always like, there are always cameras on you.
Yeah.
So does that privacy
Uh,
part
For
about your...
me, I don't think it's reached that intensity
Hmm.
that, there are photographers outside my house and stuff.
Hmm.
It does. It's not
Not
reached.
like that, but say something that happens, like you are a public figure.
Hmm.
So sometimes what happens is something that is very intimate about you and Purnima.
Yeah.
Does that sort of affect you if people are talking about it, or has it never
We
happened?
don't.
Yeah.
We don't.
That's a very
Yeah,
sacred
we don't.
space.
Yeah, we don't show that outside.
Outside.
So there's nobody
Nobody.
who can encroach it
Hmm.
in that sense.
Hmm.
Yeah, sometimes when you work with people, especially for me,
Hmm.
when I work with people really closely,
Hmm.
sometimes the process, because see, every film you do, that team kind of becomes your family.
Yeah.
You're with them for months on end.
Yeah.
You're creating together. So things are shared. They share stuff about your life. You share stuff about,
Your life.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, about their life, whatever, vice versa. But also, I think um, that communication of what has been shared to share with her is very important,
Yeah.
and which is done.
Okay. So you
So
make sure there is...
yeah, even if it's not at that moment,
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, this happened and I'm immediately, oh, you know what, this, it's not like that.
Of course.
But when we have our time together, we trust each other to communicate that, and we've
So do you all-
matured now. And
Do you all have like a ritual that is absolutely followed between you all? Because you all are into long distance relationships.
yeah,
Is there like something that is a must do? Like there are some phone calls to be done every day, or the 20 minutes phone
no,
call.
the must.
Do you all have like a ritual or anything that you all follow?
No, the only ritual is that there should be honesty between the two.
Okay.
There's no ritual on how, when. There's no particular one time which we call. Some days we don't talk to each other on the phone. We message each other every day. Some days we talk 5 times a day. So there's no ritual as such, but there are some ground rules that, okay, sometimes, like I do this I write in my notes app things which I have to tell her, like, because I don't forget.
Yeah.
Sometimes because our timings, because she's also professional, she's very busy.
Ah.
She's somebody very important in the company that she works for. She's doing very well for herself. So we need to give each other space, right? Like sometimes if I'm shooting night shifts, sometimes we're doing 10, 12, 15, 20 days of nights. So 20 days, there are very few times where you do get to talk to each other, because when I'm sleeping in the day, she's working, and the night when I'm working, she's sleeping.
Yeah.
But we need to give that space to each other. We understand that you give that space, we will come together and we will talk. Nobody's running away. None of us are hiding things from each other.
Yeah.
None of us want to do that.
But that's a cute activity to do, right? Like things I have to tell
Things
her.
I have to tell her. So I do this a lot. And of course, see, I'm saying this right now, it seems very rosy cozy. Let me tell you, many times it's not. And it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Many times it's bad. Sometimes.
And how do you tackle the bad? Like
you have to figure
tip?
You have to figure yourself out. the one thing which we realized as we've grown is that to realize what the other person needs. I know when she's really upset, the best thing to do is leave her alone.
Yeah.
To not go to solve anything.
Yeah.
Initially, I used to immediately go and solve, thinking, oh, I'm so proactive, so I care. But she said, Sid, you know what? Don't do that because I'm not in a headspace to talk to you.
Yeah.
Please
So knowing
respect.
what the other
Yeah.
person really needs.
Please
is
respect it and be away. Give
So
me
that's-
that time. Otherwise, it's not going to be a fruitful conversation. We're going to
Yeah.
end up fighting. We're going to end up saying things we don't want to each other.
Yeah.
And it's going to be bad. And that happened time and again and again and again. And then we need to come back. We need to discuss what went wrong, how, what did I do wrong, what did you do wrong. But ultimately,
There is something that kept you all together.
the thing is, this is the one thing which we've discussed. The one common thing is, see, again, we're two different people. Let me tell you this, we are very different people. There are common things about life which are common. Our family values are common. Our work ethic is very common. I'm a very passionate person. She's a very passionate person. We both give more than is required to our work. So we understand that. But I'm way more social than she is.
Yeah.
I'm way more talkative than she is. So these are things which are different.
Yeah.
So to accept that and to accept the fact about ourselves that I'm not the greatest thing on this earth.
So to make sure that
So that grounding is very difficult to accept, to accept the fact that I might be great, especially for me, because something, your performance, the way you are,
how do you ground yourself after like you
there is
made
a lot of there is a lot of practice. See, overall, I feel like I'm a very humble person. I don't
No,
take
it's
this
still, as you said.
celebrityness or any praise or award
Yeah.
because my craft keeps me grounded. So see, I'll tell you something very personal. There was a point in time where both of us had kind of hit a roadblock, okay, and we were feeling very disconnected with each other, and we were very angry with each other, and all of this was happening. Life was happening,
Yeah.
and that was a very, like, we used to only talk necessary stuff about house, about family stuff,
Essential stuff.
essential stuff. That's it. But that was the year that both of us did a lot of self reflection.
Okay.
It so happened, you know, um, I started doing a lot of inner work, and she did too.
Okay.
And once we did that, is when we met again
Okay.
as better individuals. And when we became better individuals, we became a better couple.
Okay.
So I believe this many times in a relationship, when it's really hit rock bottom, that's an opportunity for you to make it better.
Yeah.
And the only way to make it better is by not involving the other person and just working on yourself.
Yeah.
And working on yourself has its stages.
Yeah.
A long time goes in just in your mind being angry at your partner. I'm betrayed, I'm angry, I'm sad, she shouldn't have said this, I'm hurt, blah, blah, blah. As time passes, everything leaves you, your heart.
Yeah.
That's when you realize that, नहीं यार मैं इससे प्यार करता हूँ यार, मुझे जिंदगी इसी के साथ करना. I want, and then you're apprehensive to talk, but then you do the self work.
Yeah.
And it's not a competition who reaches out first. In our case, it was surprising. Neither of us reached out. Some random other thing only happened in life, and we ended up talking again, and we just met again. And we met again, we met stronger.
Yeah.
Then the apologies, then
Wow.
blah, blah, blah. And then you like kind of gear shifting. So that helps to
Yeah.
have a common goal.
But
And
that's
the
how life
goal is,
and
yeah,
relationship is, right? Like it's going to
yeah,
have its ups and
it's gonna
downs,
have its ups and
but you got to
downs.
stick through the
Gotta,
downs.
yeah, you gotta stick,
Yeah,
really stick
through the
to.
downs.
And see, your down is different from my down. Like
Yeah,
her,
two people can have different, yeah,
yeah,
going
because
through.
yeah, like her, as I said, we're two different people.
Yeah.
So her definition of boundaries,
Mm.
my definition of boundaries, very different.
Very different.
But we have to accept that
Yeah.
this is your definition, but
Mm.
this is my definition.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I'm like, I have reached this point.
Mm.
I don't know whether she has or no. Babe, if you're watching this, please tell me. But I have reached this point in my life where I have realized that I'm genuinely happy for her
Mm.
if she's happy,
Mm.
even if it means I'm not a part of that happiness.
Mm. Got it.
So I don't feel insecure anymore
Mm.
if I'm not a part
Of what
of
makes
whatever makes her happy.
happy.
I can be a part of that
Mm.
by being happy for her.
Got it.
Instead of saying, oh, I'm so insecure
Mm.
and
Yeah.
I'm jealous and
Yeah.
I should have been there and I shouldn't have been
Yeah.
there. I'm genuinely invested in her growth
Mm.
professionally, personally,
Got it.
and everything does not need to stem from me.
Yeah.
And it's vice versa also.
Mm.
Everything from my growth
Mm.
or for my growth
Mm.
doesn't need to be from her.
Yeah.
It can be from other friends, it can
Mm.
be from some film,
Yeah.
it can be from a colleague, it can
Yeah.
be from anywhere, it
Yeah.
can be from a pet.
Yeah. So
You
her
know.
happiness, yeah.
So yeah, that's
Got
what it is.
it. Do you have any advice for people who are struggling as actors out there? Like, because
Okay, so the best advice I can give you uh, is that the struggle is a part of your work.
Mm.
So don't look at it as a struggle.
Mm.
Because if you look at it as a struggle, trust me, your struggle will never end.
Got it.
So it's a part of who you are and the
Mm.
work that you do.
Got it.
The struggle will never leave you.
Mm.
Types of struggle will keep changing as you move up.
Mm.
So that's that.
That's
And also work on your craft.
mm.
That's one thing
Mm.
which has stood by me
Okay.
no matter what. Because
Mm.
when I decided that I will do this, I was like, no matter if anybody accepts me or rejects me, if my films flop
Mm.
or they become a hit, nobody should ever say कि इसको इसका काम नहीं आता.
Mm. So you should.
Nobody should ever say that. Like, I make it a point, like, even if anybody says कि Sid is not working out for this film, I think
Mm.
we're going to go another way. I'm kind of make sure, I don't know how I do it, but I kind of make sure that I leave some sort of an impression on them.
Got it.
And that's happened. Like many people who have not worked with me,
Mm.
they've ended up then working with me because
it.
they're like, no, you know what?
Mm.
Need to work with this
Yeah.
guy. Need
Mm.
to work. Love what he brings to the table.
Mm.
So nobody should ever tell you कि नहीं यार वो अच्छा actor नहीं है. Because anybody can comment on your looks,
Mm.
on your weight.
Mm.
Those are all subjective things.
Yeah.
On your height.
Yeah.
For some people you're good looking, for some people you're not good looking.
Yeah.
But when you start performing,
Yeah.
all of that should just go out of the window.
Yeah.
So
So your craft should talk more than
definitely, always,
what you are. Yeah.
always.
Nice. Okay. And because we are on RAWR and RAWR itself means love, I want to ask you that what is love for you?
अरे यार एक सेंटेंस में कैसे
What is love?
Love is in everything and in everyone
Hmm.
and in every breath you take.
Hmm.
There is love.
Okay.
You try to hold on to love as much as you can.
Hmm.
You lead a very beautiful life, no matter what it is. So there's love in everything.
Hmm.
There's love in this showpiece here. There's love in this plant. There's love inside me, inside you.
Hmm.
There is even love in your enemies.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
have to focus on the love You can't explain what it is, because love is not all roses and gardens. Love is also painful.
Yeah.
Love is challenging.
Hmm.
Hate is very easy. To hate on is very easy. It's human instinct. But to hold on to love is difficult. But it's fruitful.
But it's
Yeah.
yeah. So stick on to
Yeah.
yeah to
Just
whomever
stick on to
to
it,
love.
no
yeah,
matter
to
what.
what. Perfect. It was an amazing episode. Thank
Was
you
it?
so
Great.
much.
I'm so happy. I'm
Being
so
on
happy.
Roar. I'm so happy.
You know, I'm so glad. You said I'm the first celebrity to come on
yeah.
the show. Yay. I'm glad. So may many celebrities, a lot of interesting people come.
Thank you. Thank
And
you
you
so
have
much.
millions and millions of followers. And yeah, super.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for watching this episode. If you loved the episode, do not forget to share it with your loved ones. Till then, keep rising and embracing in love. And do not forget, I roar you.